lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing an in-depth video of how I did the tiles in my bathroom and my kitchen. So if you haven't seen those videos, definitely go check it out. I'll put it down below or maybe in the card, but it will definitely be linked below. So if you want to learn how to elevate your floors cheaply, easily, and make it just look, you know, it's more expensive, make it more bright, more clean, and more elevated, continue watching. Let's get started. Get right into it. It's pretty simple, and this is the video that really tells you and explains exactly what I did, how I did it, and how you can get the same look. So I got these tiles from my hardware store. I was trying to see if I can find them anywhere else. Honestly, at the time, surprisingly, I couldn't find the tiles I originally wanted, but then when I seen these, I fell in love because I want something that's a bit more luxe, a bit more grand. And I find like the little tiny square tiles for marble, at least, it looks a bit cheap. Because most of the time when you see marble, they're more in a larger scale pattern. So I found these and I found the dimensions of them. I loved these ones and I had to get them, and they were quite cheap. I think they were only like $26 or $29 per case, and I think I only needed 2 cases to do my bathroom and kitchen, and I had leftover. Okay, so once you get your tiles, what you're going to do is dry fit them. Place them out, see the pattern, see how you feel about them and what direction you want them to go. Once you find that out, you're going to dry fit them. So as you're gonna see me, I'm gonna start scoring them and cutting them, which is actually very simple and easy to do. If you've ever seen my floor video with me and my cutter, that was, whoo, I'm sweating. I don't need a mirror! Look at you do. I was hanging by the machine. Go watch that video, I'll link that down below too. It's quite simple to actually cut these, so I really love them and they're very easy. The tile isn't bad, it's not in bad condition, but it's definitely not what I would say as my style, my look, my aesthetic, or my color scheme. And for the gray, I just want to freshen it up. So, floor tiles, they're peel and stick, and that's basically what we're going to be putting on the floor. It's larger tiles instead of just having the tiny little squares that's already in the bathroom. I feel like these look a bit more real, and there's a bit more expensive. I like a bigger tile instead of, especially if you're using peel and stick, I feel like it's very easy for it to look very cheap. Especially it doesn't have a sheen on it, it's not really shiny like most marbles. Okay, so I can't find my ruler anywhere, so what I'm going to do is just use a straight edge. It's just a painter's stick. So I'm going to turn it around. Just going to line it up at the end since I don't have if you have an L shape ruler, I'd say use that. But all you're going to do is cut down and keep cutting. And once you get that, you'll have a line in the middle, and then you'll be able to basically do that. Actually, oh, you don't even need a sharp one. See, it worked. And then boom, you have it cut. You actually don't even need, I thought I needed my sharper X-Acto knife. This one works perfectly. Now I have my 2 pieces. And so what I'll do is start this one here, and then I will start the second piece here. So then when I go, as you see, it's not gonna be right, like lined up exactly on each other. It's gonna give a bit of spacing. I also have spacers and grout, so that's what I'm gonna do to try and give it a bit more realistic look, because I don't want them to be too close together. I do like having a bit of a grout line, as you see here. So right now I'm just measuring all the pieces out, and then I'm gonna grab my spacers, barrier down, and then you guys will see when I do that. But I'm just showing you that's how you cut it, is just you basically lay it down, cut it, snap it, and that will help you for this portion. But when I actually go to put them in, I will show you what I do for that. But right now I'm just gonna keep measuring all the pieces. So here for the bathroom, as well as for the sink, I decided to use this little machine, this tool that I've seen on Amazon, and to cut edges and stuff like that. And I really did like it, but honestly, it's not necessary. You can just use from the other ones that you already peeled off the backing, because it's already the dimensions you need. So what I did also for the sink, for instance, I just wanted to see what would be different or better for you guys to see if that tool is really necessary. It's not. So I took the backing of one of the ones I already peeled off and I put that towards the sink and measured it out like with a pencil and got the same shape that way. Instead of using this tool that you have to buy, wait for it, and waste money, you don't actually need this tool. You can just use the backing of the previous papers you ripped off. So that's a little tip for you guys there, that you don't actually need this tool, but I did like it. It was cool. I like adding new tools to my toolbox and to play with and to use, but you don't, it's not necessary. But let's just see how I did it, and it's basically the same thing you're gonna do with the paper backing. Now I am at the section for the toilet, and I bought this little gadget. It's just to help basically measure corners, edges, all like the spots and stuff that are harder to reach. So I got this, and we're gonna see if this will help me get around the sink and the toilet bowl, because as you can see, mat here is just off by the slightest sliver for this corner edge here, and for the whole toilet bowl, it's also going to be hard. So basically you just take this, and let's move this. I'll take this piece basically, and you just line this up with your toilet or whatever edge you're doing, and then bam. You find your exact measurement of what you need. And so now I'm gonna flip this over actually. I don't think you guys can see what I'm doing, but basically I just drew the lines on the bottom half. My foot's in it. I kind of just marked, I scored where the ends meet, so now I know where this meets. And then we're gonna just make sure it's lined up. Mark it. Okay, oops. Okay, so now that I have this little mark, let's see if we wait a bit. Score it. It's a bit hard as a straight line. I'm just giving a little bit of leeway. Okay, good. Obviously you can definitely just go and do it without and measure as you go. Look at that, perfect. Literally perfect. So now we're going to put this barrier down, and the reason I did this is because I want it to be renter friendly. I want to be able to lift it up. I think I mentioned that in the video as well, so I don't want to talk about that too much, but I do think I want to explain my exact reasonings. So one thing I also had to do is with the door, when I tried opening the door, because it's going to have the barrier, then it's going to have the laminate, the door was not able to swing anymore. So I mentioned there that I used saran wrap. So basically what I did is cut out dimensions of where the door swings, and I laid saran wrap down, but I had the barrier down the rest of the bathroom. I didn't say it as clear in the video, so I just want to articulate that here. And the reason I did that is because when I leave, I can just lift up the whole thing, and adhesive is not gonna be stuck on the actual tiles or on the floor, and I'm gonna have to clean it up. A lot of times you have to use a heat gun or have to scrape it or use Goo Gone. I just want to be able to lift it up and leave it exactly how it was when I, well, moved in. Basically here, this is what it looks like right now. I put the vapor barrier all around. I just have to fit a tiny piece behind the toilet, and I have to actually cut a piece of this so the door can slide. I'm actually gonna put saran wrap down just because the floors are too high, so it won't slide as much with the barrier down. So basically this is gonna help protect it and actually keep it renter friendly, because once the adhesive adheres to the ground, it makes it very tough to lift back up. And there's like residue and stick marks, so this here just protects the ground and you from having to do much work, because you're just literally lifting up. Basically it's gonna be like it's a little, like you're gonna make a platform when you goes to move. But yeah, I'm just gonna fit that little corner over there and fit over here, and then we are good. We're gonna start laying the tiles down. Now that the barrier is down and I dry fitted everything, I'm just double checking my work before you stick everything down. So I'm just replacing all the tiles, making sure I have each tile where I want it to be because the patterns go certain ways. So I'm just checking everything out before I move on and actually stick them down. How you did that. Okay, so my camera, right there, it's full. The camera is full, so I'm basically gonna show you guys what I'm doing by my hand, my phone. Ignore my toes. So basically, I'm dry fitting everything. It's like pre-cut. Ignore the store, it's gonna be repainted. I'm dry fitting everything. I already pre-cut them before a couple days ago. I mean, last week. Which you would have seen that clip already. But now I am just dry fitting them to see where they go. Unfortunately, there was a couple casualties because my brother or mother, someone spilled soap and I was away. And when I came back home, they called me and they're like, oh, Tiera, we ruined your tiles, so I had to recut tiles for there. I'm gonna measure those, and then I'm going to be using man, my burn looks so bad. Some like spacers. I'm gonna be using spacers, but what I have to do actually, because they come in 4, I'm cutting them down. So instead of the 4, I just cut the 1 piece off, and that helps me space them in because I'm not doing them straight, and I'm spacing them out like it's like this instead of just having them all the same length. I have to cut a piece off. And then fit them in. But I want to make sure everything fit perfectly before even putting it on. Now you see that I have my little the border down to protect the actual tiles down there, and I just taped the little corner up there. And then after that, we're going to put some grout down. I don't know. I realized afterwards there's a different type of grout for vinyl, and I don't think this one is for vinyl. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to use it anyways and let you know how it works, if it was fine. But they do have vinyl grout and actual ceramic grout, which I did not know when I bought this pre-mixed grout, so I will update you on that. So I don't think you're gonna see me actually installing it in the bathroom just because I'm gonna do the kitchen, so I'll show you guys then when I do the kitchen. And because, like I said, my camera is full, the card, and I just really wanna get this done because it's been way past due. So I will definitely show you guys the clips that I have of installing it, and then you will get. So now I wanna show you what I did in the kitchen. I did the exact same thing I did in the bathroom, but here you actually see me sticking them down. It's just easier because the bathroom is so small you couldn't really see when I was doing it. I've already dry fitted everything, and now I'm just placing them down. And what I like to do, don't peel the whole thing off actually. You want to make sure that you peel half of it off, stick it down, and peel it off as you go down. So as you place the tile down, you want to peel the back paper off to slowly adhere it to it. You don't want to just stick it down and then you're stuck. This gives you a bit more leeway to actually make sure everything's straight and lined up. I'm making sure all my spacers are in the correct position as I'm laying them down. And because I already dry fitted everything, I already knew where everything was going, it made it a quick, easy task to just peel it and keep going and work my way down. Okay, so now I have them all in. I'm taking out my spacers, as you see, a little space. And there we go. So we have the full floor in. Now we're about to grout it. Okay, so now I have my grout. I picked a gray grout, and then I have my sponge that's going to help me wipe and clean off the tiles, and I have my scraper to apply the grout. Okay, so don't do the whole floor and then try to go on cleaning it. Start off in sections. So I'm just doing this quarter of the floor, and then I'm going to dampen. 1 second. Okay, so what you do, I'll show you over in this corner. You just take the sponge damp, and then lightly, really lightly. You're not pushing, you're not scrubbing. Just lightly scrub it off. And then you can go on the sides and do a little scrub if it's dried. But that's why you want to do sections. But like, if you just kind of go over it, and you'll see it starts to go away, and then you have a grout line. Look at that, see? Okay, so now that we have the grouting done, everything is finished. Now my tip to this is make sure you allocate a few hours in your day to not using these areas. And these are high traffic areas, for instance, the kitchen, the bathroom. You're gonna have to use the bathroom, you're gonna wanna eat. So make sure you're doing it in a day where you can go outside or you have other things to do to keep you busy that you're not gonna be walking through. And if you live with people, make sure you tell them do not step on it, because we did have the grout lines. You don't want to shift, you don't want to crack. So you do want to let it sit and not be bothered for a good couple of hours. Read the instructions of how long it takes for it to dry, usually 3 hours or so. Make sure it's actually set, and then you can kind of step on it but lightly, and then you want to wait like a full 24 hours. Okay, so now that everything is done, let's check out what the kitchen and bathroom look like. Honestly, I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I love how bright it made it, how clean it made it. Like, it just makes it easier to clean also, because I feel like the tiles that I had before were just very dingy looking, even though the ones in the bathroom were new. It just didn't feel very new and stuff when I tried cleaning. And the ones in the kitchen, they just, well, they needed some help. So I love the way it turned out, and I hope you guys try it out yourself. It is very easy to do. It is time consuming for, you know, to measure the cuts and everything else. I would definitely say these are easier than my wood floors, obviously, but it still does take, you know, a good day or two to measure it out properly. Make sure you have everything set. Then you want to let it dry. If you're doing the grout lines, I personally think the grout lines really did make it look a bit more elevated instead of keeping them so tight together, because I feel like a lot of people, when they just put tight together, you're able to tell, oh, those are just peel and stick tiles. It doesn't really look that great sometimes, but I personally think the grout did elevate the look of it, as well as staggering the pieces instead of keeping them just, is it perpendicular? Keeping them straight and just squared off. I don't know why I cannot think of the word for that. You noticed the whole video, I couldn't say it. But anyways, yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. Try it out for yourself. I personally do think they made a huge difference. They didn't cost that much to do either, so this is a pretty cheap project to do, but it does change your space tremendously. And there's so many different types of tiles you can use, obviously, out there too. You can use something with more funky patterns, you can use more colors. I just wanted to keep it pretty simple, and my whole purpose for this apartment was just to make everything look bright and clean, and have a bit more of my aesthetic and my style. So I hope you guys try it out. Let me know what you think, and also if you guys are getting tiles, let me know what kind of tile print you would get. I like the, you know, the really chunky black and white block print ones. I love those. I kind of want to do that in a bathroom one day, like in a powder room. They remind me of like the concrete clay tiles that people make. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I really do appreciate when you guys comment, leave me feedback of tips of what to do. Tell me what your own projects you guys are doing. I love hearing that feedback. I've heard a lot of feedback from when it came from my floor video as well as my upholstered chair video. People give me a lot of feedback and talking there to me, and I appreciate it because I like to learn too. So I put these videos out to teach you guys, but I also am learning. We're doing it ourselves. So let's make this a community where we all can learn from each other. So like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, lovelies. So if you guys like this video, I have so many more just like it. Go ahead and click over here. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. Come on, click the video. I dare you. Click it. Just do it. Gotta get up and get out, but there's a problem. Every time I go outside, I see your face.